Hi kids, today we are going to learn how to draw a cute little boy. This is an easy drawing for kids to learn. And we're also going to draw the boy with all these heart-shaped balloons and these bushes, a beautiful blue sky, and a sun, and some little frogs on the sidewalk, and some happy clouds with smiley faces. So let's jump in. All right, let's start off by drawing these heart-shaped balloons. Have you ever seen a heart-shaped balloon? That would be funny, huh? That makes me happy. Look at this happy smiley face. There we go. We'll draw the pupils of the eye. The pupils are the part in the middle of the eye. Those are called pupils, the black part. And then you have the white part around the eye as well. So we've got one balloon there. Maybe we should draw some more balloons, and then we can give them strings and let the boy hold on to the strings and pull them where he wants to go. So we'll draw another balloon over here, another balloon over here behind the big balloon, and we'll put these little rectangles there. There we go. We've got another balloon right there. And let's draw another balloon right here. There we go. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balloons. Maybe add a 6th balloon. 7 balloons. Do you know why balloons have that little triangle at the bottom? That's because that's where they're tied off. So when your mommy and daddy blow up a balloon, they put their mouths on the balloon and they blow it up, and then they stretch it out and tie it so the air doesn't come out. And because it's very elastic, like a rubber band, when you tie it like that, it actually makes it pretty tight. So we're going to draw these balloon strings. Draw them down, and that's where the little boy will be holding on to the balloons. All right, what should we color now? So we'll add these little shines on the balloon. These little rectangles are kind of curved. Let's give these balloons smiley faces because they like to be happy. Do you like to be happy? I like to be happy. Being happy is very fun, huh? All right, what should we color now? Let's color the little boys. You're going to let him hold on to these balloon strings. I think that's a good idea. The balloon strings will be in his hand. So we've got his fingers there that are bent, and they're grasping these balloon strings. Do you know what would happen if he let go of the balloon? If the little boy let go of the balloons would float up into the sky far away. You know why that is? So balloons are filled with something called helium. Can you say helium? It's a kind of gas. Like, have you heard of the word oxygen before? So oxygen is what you breathe in. It helps your body to breathe and to be healthy and happy. And helium is a gas too. They're both different kinds of air. Air is a gas. It's made of a bunch of gases. The air we breathe, there's oxygen and nitrogen and all sorts of different gases. So helium is this gas that balloons are filled with often, and that makes balloons float. Do you know why helium floats? Helium-filled balloons float? Helium balloons float because helium is lighter and not as dense as oxygen. Helium is lighter than oxygen. Oxygen and the air, at least the air outside of the balloon, the air we breathe is heavier than helium. Helium's lighter than that. And because it's lighter, it will float to the surface. Kind of like if you take something filled of air and you put it under the water, like a rubber ducky in the bathtub. If you push the rubber ducky under the water and let go, the rubber ducky will usually float to the top of the surface of the water. And that's because rubber duckies have air, and the air is less dense than water. And so the helium balloons float because helium gas is lighter than the air we breathe, the air outside. So that's why they go up. And there we go. Let's color in these eyes of this little boy. He's a happy little boy. See, we added these little creases on his cheek where his mouth is, and that helps him to look very happy when we draw that way, huh? All right. What should we color now? Should we color the sidewalk that the little boy is walking on? Look at that. We're drawing the sidewalk, this horizontal line that goes across the picture. And let's, have you ever seen how some sidewalks have lines? In fact, it's because there's different segments of the sidewalk. And did you know I played a game once? And the game was really fun. In the game, what we did was we would try not to step on any of the lines on the sidewalk. And if we stepped on a crack, then we would lose the game. And then there's another game where you try to only step on the cracks of the sidewalk, and you have to jump from sidewalk to sidewalk crack in order to play the game. So we're drawing these bushes, the bushes alongside the sidewalk on the other side, and we're going to draw little hearts on the bushes. That would be fun, kind of like heart red berries. You wouldn't want to eat the berries on a bush because you don't know whether or not the berries could be safe, because some berries are safe and other berries are not safe. They're actually poisonous. So you always have to ask your mommy if something is okay to eat before you eat it, because if not, you could get very sick. So that's very important to know, huh? All right, let's see. What should we color now? Let's color on this sidewalk. Maybe little heart-shaped little hearts things, maybe. And oh, look at, we just drew a frog. Have you ever seen a frog? Do you know what a toad is? A toad is like a very large frog. I've seen toads. I'm from New Hampshire, a state where there's lots of rain and ponds. And when there's lots of ponds, there's usually lots of frogs and toads. Do you know what they call baby frogs? Did you know that before frogs become frogs, they actually look like fish, little fishies? And they're called tadpoles. Can you say tadpole? That's kind of a fun word to say, huh? So a tadpole is a baby frog before it grows up. It's called a tadpole. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frogs. And we drew the sidewalk. And now let's draw a beautiful, happy yellow sun. Of course, we haven't drawn it yellow yet. We're using our imagination right now, but we will draw it yellow soon. So let's draw these happy smiley face clouds. There we go. I like learning how to draw a boy. This is a fun and easy drawing to do. It's something that you could do too, and yours would look different, but it would still be just as fun. And that's the important part of drawing, is to have fun. So let's see, what should we draw next? How about we'll color in his hands. We'll make his skin look like this peach color. Give him a little bit of color on his face and on his hands. So we'll color in where his chin is and his nose and his cheeks. There we go. We'll get the side of his head right here. We'll color his other hand in like this. There we go. He looks like a happy, healthy little boy. It's a very cute picture, don't you think? This picture would actually be a nice Valentine's picture because it has hearts in it, huh? So we're going to draw in the eyes. We're going to color in the eyes with the color blue. Now what should we do? We could color in so many other things. Let's color in his shirt. We'll color in his shirt with this bright red color. There we go. That's a very bright red color. All right, we'll color in his sleeves and his shirt. What should we color next? We could color his pants or his shoes. We'll draw his color there with this black line. And let's see, what else do we want to color now? Should we color the frogs? Or should we color, how about we'll color the pants with this light blue color. It's kind of like a baby blue color. I really like the color blue. It makes me feel happy and relaxed. Let's see, we still haven't colored in the frogs or the bushes. Let's color in the shoes though with this darker blue color. There we go. Do you know that the color blue helps people feel relaxed? And the color red's more of an intense color. Different colors make you feel different ways. Did you know that? Now, why don't we color the frogs in? Would that be fun? Let's color frogs green. A lot of frogs are green, but did you know that not every frog is green? There's some frogs that are different colors, like yellow or orange or red or brown. There's big frogs that are the size of your hand. There's little frogs that are the size of your thumb. There's all sorts of different types of frogs and toads. So we'll draw the frogs there. There we go. Now, what should we color next? Why don't we color their eyelids right there so they all are green. Do you see how frogs have their 2 feet? Their feet are webbed. Do you know what webbed feet means? It means that between their fingers or their toes, on the frog's toes and hands, there's skin that goes across, like in between. And that makes it so when frogs go swimming in water, they can swim faster because they can open up their fingers or their toes, their hands or feet, and they can pedal with them and they can go faster in the water. So that's called webbed hands or feet. Kind of interesting. I think there's even been some people who have had webbed hands or feet, where they had just a little extra skin connecting their fingers or their toes. Kind of interesting, huh? That would be kind of helpful if you were a swimmer. Then you'd have more, you could push more water back when you swim probably. All right, let's color in this sidewalk, this first section of the sidewalk with the color brown. Have you ever walked on a sidewalk like this where there's these cement concrete squares? Do you know what cement and concrete, what that means? So cement is this powder. It's like rock glue. You get it wet, and when it dries, it turns into like this rock kind of stuff, kind of like a glue rock. And do you know what concrete is? Concrete is when you mix cement with something else, with like rocks and pebbles and sand. When you mix several things with cement, it makes concrete. So that's the difference between concrete and cement. Cement is just one ingredient of concrete. Concrete is when you have cement plus rocks or other things like sand, and kind of interesting, huh? And different types of concrete with different ingredients. Some are stronger than others. So that's kind of interesting, huh? Do you know, I once saw my grandpa. My grandfather, he made a concrete stairs in our barn, and he took, I don't know, it was probably about 20 or so concrete cement bags that he mixed with lots of rocks and water, and it was really hard to do. But in the end, we had these really sturdy stairs that were super heavy and strong, and it was kind of cool. But you got to be careful if you're ever near a cement bag that you don't breathe in the dust, because it could be really bad for your lungs inside of your body. If you were to breathe that in, it could make your lungs get a little dirty. Do you know what lungs are? Lungs are the part inside your body that breathes in air. So when you breathe in and out, your lungs, they open up, they expand and get bigger, and then they contract, or they get smaller and they close up. And that's when the air goes in and out. Very interesting. It's important that we take care of our lungs, so that way we can breathe and get plenty of oxygen into our bodies. Okay, let's see. So we're going to color in right now. We're going to color this sidewalk in with this dark blue color. There we go. Almost looks like the two frogs are on a pond. This is a funny sidewalk. Have you ever seen a sidewalk that's all colorful like this? I wonder how it could get colorful. Maybe if it were painted, or maybe some children took street chalk and they colored it, or maybe something else. Kind of interesting though, huh? And if you look at the strings to the balloons, those are all this bright red color. Very cool, huh? So we're gonna try to color in blue in between the balloon lines for the rest of the sidewalk. All right, what do we want to color next? We could color the bushes. We could color the clouds. We could color the balloons with the balloon smiley faces. We could color the bushes. We still have 2 sidewalks to color. Might be good to color in those sidewalks, you know what I mean? So let's color this other sidewalk. We'll maybe color this brown color as well. Hey, can I teach you something about the color brown? Do you know how to make the color brown? So you can make different colors. There's primary colors, and then there's colors that you get when you mix colors. So for example, if you mix a lot of colors together, like say orange and yellow and blue and green and purple, if you mix those together, it will often give you the color of brown if you mix multiple colors together, like orange and black. Isn't that interesting? So there we go. We'll color in the sidewalk. And we'll draw back here, draw alongside the little boy's arm. And here we go. Color back here as well. And right here. And this is a fun drawing. I like to draw. Do you like to draw? Do you like to draw with markers? Have you ever drawn with markers like we're doing right now? Or do you color with colored pencils or crayons? There's all sorts of ways to color, and it's really fun, don't you think? So we'll color in the sidewalk. Here we go. There we are. Color in that sidewalk. Awesome. Now what should we color next? Should we keep on coloring? There's one more part of the sidewalk to color in. Let's color that in with the color purple. That's kind of funny. All right, so we'll color it purple. And then we've got a very colorful sidewalk. It looks like we're walking on top of a rainbow or something like that. A rainbow sidewalk. So we'll draw the purple around this cute little frog. And we'll color it in with this color. There we go. I like this is a fun activity to color on a page, don't you think so? All right, now what should we color next? We could color the sky, we could color the clouds, we could color the sun, we could color the bushes or the balloons. Why don't we color the bushes in with this green color? So we'll color in the bush. There we go. It's looking very nice. Color in the bush over here. All right. This is a big poofy bush. When I grew up, I lived in a big blue house, and it was surrounded with this big bush, all these bushes. So instead of having a big brick wall, we had this big wall of bushes that was just as tall as an adult, just about. And it wasn't just a little thick, it was very thick. It was a few feet, like several feet thick. And it had these red little berries on it, but they weren't edible berries. They were berries that could make you sick, so we never ate them because they weren't meant for people. They were more meant for birds or things like that. All right, let's color in some more bushes with this other shade of green. So we got a darker green right here. Color in between the lines. We'll fill it in. And let's see, what else can I teach you from this painting? Let's see, we talked a little bit about balloons. We could talk about the clouds or the bushes or frogs. Do you know what noise frogs make? They go ribbit, 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 ribbit. That's the kind of noise that the frogs make. It's kind of cool. I like frogs. Frogs are really, really kind of cool. I like how they hop on 2 feet. Have you ever seen a frog hop? It's super cute. So let's color in these bushes with the color green. All right, color in that color green. Now, what should we color? We could color the balloons. Well, we still have a little more bushes. Why don't we finish coloring in the bushes? I think that's a good idea. That sounds like a happy idea. So what other pictures do you like to color? Do you like to color pictures of a house, or pictures of a family, or pictures of a boy or a girl? Do you like to color easy pictures? Do you like to color hard pictures? This picture isn't the hardest, but it's not the easiest picture ever. It could be a little bit tricky sometimes for some people. But yeah, there we go. We'll color in green right around the heart. Maybe I can teach you about the sun. See the sun, the smiley sun? See how's the lines coming away? Those are the sun rays. So, did you know that the sun is very, very big? It's even bigger than your house. It's bigger than the whole entire world. In fact, the world is really, really small. It would be like comparing a marble. Have you ever seen a little marble that you can hold in your fingers? It'd be like that would be the earth, and the big balloon would be the sun. It's something like that, where the sun is just a lot bigger than the earth. And the reason why the sun looks smaller than the earth is because it's very far away. And did you know that the farther away you are from an object, the smaller it looks? So when you're coloring, if there's something that's far away, the farther away you want it to look, you have to color it smaller. You have to draw it in smaller if it's farther away. All right, let's color in the sky with this light blue color. So I'll color it in, and this is so much fun. Let's color in the sun with this light yellow color. Did you know that the sun is super duper hot? In fact, it is more hot probably than a fire. It's so hot. And there's big explosions on the sun that we can't even see because we're so far away. But there's these solar storms, and all of these interesting things happening on the sun. Did you know if the earth was closer to the sun, it would be too hot on the earth? And if the earth was too much farther away from the sun, it would be too cold on earth to live for us. But we're just the right distance away from the earth. the Earth is just the right distance away from the sun that we can live. And that's a blessing because we're so blessed to live on such a wonderful earth that's been made for us. It's just this perfectly formed earth where it's just a miracle that we can live. I mean, you go to other places in space, and we haven't even found another Earth yet in space, though we know that there are Earths, we just haven't found them yet. Kind of interesting, huh? Well, let's color in the sky with this light blue color. So we'll color in the sky with the light blue color. Looks like a very sunny and warm springtime day. It looks like the little boy is going on a walk outside holding his balloons. I wonder why he has balloons. Maybe it was his birthday and maybe he was turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe he got 8 balloons because it was for his 8th birthday, for turning 8 years old. Or maybe he was going to a birthday party and he was bringing balloons for his friend. Or maybe he got the balloons on Valentine's Day because there's a heart-shaped balloon in his hands. I wonder, I just don't know what's happening exactly, but I bet it's one of those probably. It's probably something like that happened. So we're going to color in the sky. There we go. Oh, it looks so pretty. It looks like we're getting close to done. Just hold in there and we'll be able to finish coloring in the picture. I can think of one more thing we need to color in to finish the picture. Can you think of it? There's 8 of them and they're tied to strings. Yep, you got it. It's the balloons. We just need to color in all the balloons and then I think we'll be pretty close to done. So we're going to color in this heart-shaped balloon with the color red. That way it looks like a heart. There we go. Color it in there. Color it in here. Color down to the part right there of the heart, around the lips and the cheek. There we go. All right. This is going great. So we'll color in this heart shape. Under the eyes, around the eyes, down. Hey, you know what that reminds me of? It almost looks like a strawberry, doesn't it? Like a smiley face strawberry. The heart kind of reminds me of a strawberry. So I'll color in the balloon with this bright red color. So like I was saying, balloons are very rubbery and they stretch really big when you blow into them. They stretch and get bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you blow too much air into a balloon, do you know what will happen? Or if you accidentally poke a balloon with a pen or with something pokey, a balloon will pop. Have you ever heard a balloon pop? When a balloon pops, it's very, very loud and it can hurt your ears. I've had that happen before where I was hearing a balloon pop and it was so super loud. Let's see some other interesting facts about balloons. Did you know that the air inside of a balloon can be compressed? So you know how when you try to squeeze a rock, it doesn't get smaller? But when you squeeze, if you hold some snow and you squeeze the snow, it will make the snow get smaller and it will turn into ice or kind of like this melted snow and it will get a little smaller. Well, air is something that can compress. It can get smaller. And so if you squeeze, you can make air get really small. So for example, when you are blowing up balloons with air, with gas, with the helium, they'll sometimes have this container that holds a lot of air. It might look really small, this little cartridge, but it can blow up a lot of big balloons, and that's because air can compress. Whereas liquids and solids like water and brick and stones and wood, they might get a little smaller like you might be able to squeeze wood to get a little smaller, but it sure is hard, and you'll probably need a lot of force and maybe a big machine to make that happen. But with air can get really big or really small. Did you know that the warmer air is, the bigger it is and the more room it takes up? And did you know that the more cold the air is, the smaller the less room it takes up? That's kind of interesting, don't you think? All right, so we're going to finish coloring this balloon. We're almost done with this picture. So in this picture, we learned how to draw a cute little boy, a boy drawing with frogs and with smiley-shaped heart balloons and with a smiley sun and with a few different bushes in the background and with a very colorful rainbow sidewalk. We also learned how to color in the clouds. We learned how to color a bunch of things today, don't you think? I bet your parents would be proud all the things you've learned today about gas and helium in balloons, and about the sun, and about frogs. Remember how frogs are really cool and they have web-shaped feet and they can swim in the water? Oh, there's one other thing we almost forgot. We need to color in these little berries on the bush, or these heart-shaped berries or fruits on the bush. So we'll color in those hearts, and then I think we'll be just about done. So thank you so much for coloring with us today and watching us and learning with us. We have new videos every single day, so feel free to subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, and then tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Every day we'll have a new video that you can watch where you can learn how to draw something. And while you're learning how to draw something like a little boy, you'll learn all about all sorts of things. And it'll be a very educational video for children. It'll help you to learn things you need to learn in life, and values and life skills and vocabulary, all while you get to look at these fun pictures. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this and hope you have a really good, happy day. And you should go and be really nice to your mommy and daddy and tell them thank you.